Hi, everyone. If you're new here, my name's Luann, and I'm sharing my grief journey with you. I lost my husband in March of 2020. It's probably one of the hardest things that's ever happened in my life, next to losing my dad. And I then lost my mom in March of this year, 2022. Um, Last weekend, you all saw that I was a little upset. My high school friend had moved in with me. And then within a week, she told me she was moving out. She did leave on Saturday. Today's Monday. And I'm not sad about it. We had a little bit of an issue during the week a couple times, and I'm okay that she's gone. um, it was sad for me because, I mean, when she told me that she needed a place to stay and that, she was excited and we were going to go see movies and we were going to go shopping and we were going to do this and we were going to do that. Um, and then every night she would come home and go in her room and just stay there. And honestly, I think I was convenient for her to at least get up here and then look for something else. So yeah, I was just feeling a little used and a little taken advantage of and had a little bit of hurt feelings. But now I'm like, you know what? I have my house back, and that's really okay with me. I'm good with that. So, much better than I was last weekend. And got a little riding time in this weekend. If you're new, you don't know, but I went and took my MSF course, which is a motorcycle safety course, and took the test and got my endorsement for a motorcycle and have bought a motorcycle. And now I'm just practicing in the church parking lot, which is across the street from my house. So that's kind of exciting. Just learning new things about the bike because I do have friends that ride. And like I told them, I'm like, I can't get the bike to stay running. I mean, I can start it, it runs for a few minutes, like 30, 40 seconds, and then it shuts off. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Gas is on, don't understand it. Well, then somebody told me, well, are you pulling out the choke? And I'm like, the choke? So this is all new to me. I mean, even though I've been a passenger and my husband rode motorcycles, never once had I started his bike and the bike that I rode on at the training, the class, didn't have a choke. So I'm like, okay. So I went out and looked on the bike, and sure enough, there's a choke. Guess what? It runs and it stays running because you pull the choke out, let it warm up a little bit, put the choke in, good to go. Yeah. So I'm like feeling a little bit silly about that, but yeah. So it makes me laugh now because I was like, oh my God, there's a choke on this thing. Um, because even my lawnmower used to have a choke on it, and I would use that. Well, now that I have a newer lawnmower, it doesn't. So it didn't even dawn on me that this could have a choke on it. And it's a 1998, so obviously it's going to have a choke on it. So it's just the silly things. But being at my 2.5, let's see, March, April, May, June, July, August, almost 2.5 years for me of losing my husband. I feel like I'm starting to invest in myself a little bit and spending some more time doing some things that I want to do. So being sad last weekend about finding out that my girlfriend was moving out, my girlfriend from high school. Um, yeah, it just kind of, I don't know. I had a little bit of hurt feelings and cried a little bit, but now I'm like, you know what? I gotta stop letting people get to me like that. I've got to get my skin needs to be a little thicker. I am a very kind of person that would just give you the shirt off their back if I thought you needed it. Been told a million times I have a big heart. And I don't know. It is what it is. So I just wanted to jump on here and see if y'all are doing okay. It was not a bad week. It's been crazy busy at work, and I work in real estate, and it has been insane. So that keeps me, keeps my mind occupied. And I've been doing some canning and making some jelly and things like that. So, yeah, just keeping myself busy. I'm gonna volunteer with a group to make do a pancake breakfast and biscuits and sausage gravy, and I'm gonna be making the sausage gravy, serving food, things like that. So, yeah, I mean, my biggest and best advice for you right now, whether you're in the beginning or 2 years or 10 years, if you're struggling, do something. Go for a walk, volunteer with an organization, join an organization. Do you have anybody that's military in your family? You can join with their DD 214, whether you're a daughter or a wife or, widow, whatever. You can take that DD 214 in and join your American Legion, or you can go join your AMVETS, or you can join a Moose Lodge or an Elks Club, something like that, and volunteer your time. They're always looking for people to volunteer. So that's what really helped me, was getting out and being around people. Like just sitting in your house, going to work, coming home, sitting in your house, going to work, coming home, sitting in your house is so bad for you, because you dwell on things and you think about things and you don't really, you think. For so long, I drank a lot the first 6 months. I drank a ton, but I was in the middle of COVID. Like my husband died right when COVID was starting and getting bad. And it was shortly thereafter that he passed away that they shut everything down. So I couldn't go out. So I did. I drank a lot. And my advice would be, things are not shut down. Go out. Go out to dinner. Treat yourself. Go get ice cream. Go to a movie. Join an organization. Start doing things in the evenings with this organization, hanging out with those people. Go to church. And I know sometimes that's easier said than done. I was angry at God for a very long time. Him and I are back on good terms, by the way. But yeah, for a while, I was really, really angry at God, and I stopped praying and I stopped going to church. And even though I don't go to church right now, I have been praying and I have been doing devotionals. So yeah, it's okay to be angry at God. You don't have to go to church if you don't want to. I get it. But the drinking part is so bad, and you just, if you can keep your mind on something, reading, doing puzzles. I did a ton of puzzles, because it engages your mind, and you have to be thinking about, okay, you have to be thinking about what you're looking for, the piece you're looking for. Or if you're reading, your mind is taken into the book, and it takes you out of it. It takes you out of grief. Even if it's just for a little while. Do crochet, do needlepoint, knit. Guys, work on cars, or girls too. I do mine too. I can change my oil and a bunch of other things. But guys, can crochet and knit too. So whatever. Just find something to keep your mind occupied because that's going to save you. The dwelling, the not feeling sorry for yourself, but just the sadness and the overwhelming feeling of you're never going to be, you're never going to do this again. You're never going to do that again. It's all going to be different. And it is different, but you have to learn to still live your life. That's the hardest thing. That was the hardest thing for me. I moved from Michigan to Texas to be close to my granddaughter, and I was miserable there. And I mean, I love my granddaughter, and I love my daughter, and I love my son-in-law, and I love his family, but it wasn't home. And I couldn't go to my husband's grave when I wanted to. And his family is here, and my friends are here, and my organizations are here, and I did not fit in Texas. So I moved back. And since I've moved back, I almost feel like I've been given a gift because I feel better about myself. I feel better about I'm taking, doing the things I wanted to do, like getting the motorcycle, taking the class, went up in a hot air balloon. I want a zip line. So that's something I'm looking into. Um, so I guess what I'm trying to get across to you is if you can make it through the hardest part, the first couple of years, and maybe some of it could be sooner for you. I don't know. This is just my journey, my opinion. I'm not trying to help any, diagnose anybody, say, oh my gosh, your depression will go away. It won't. But I'm giving you my experience, my journey. And here I am. It'll be 2.5 years next month. And I finally feel like I'm on the other side of it. Like I finally feel like I can start living my life again and get out there and do things. Because I know all of you have told your significant other, your wife or your husband, you'd be okay. You'd, move on with your life. You'd go, you'd do this, you'd do that, whatever. And that's a silly conversation because you don't know. I told my husband I would be fine. I would work 2 jobs or whatever it took, and I'd be fine. You're not fine because there isn't a way to describe the pain that you're in when it happens. You can't, unless you've lived through it, you can't even imagine it. And these conversations you have, like my husband and I had talked before he got really sick and he wanted to die at home. And, we talked about how I would be okay. And I had my real estate license. I was going to be okay. I was going to do what I needed to do. And then he died. And I'm like, oh crap. I can't make it on what I'm doing here. I can't afford our house and car payments. I had to sell his truck and and then I just decided I'm done with this. I'm going to Texas. And I sold our house because he had died there. And it was a tomb to me. Every day I walked into that house, it was very sad. And I thought about, trying to buy my house back when I moved back up here and everything. And now that I'm here, I'm like, I don't want that house back. There's too much there. There's just too much. And it would set me back again. So that's something to think about if you're living in a house where someone, the person had passed away in. Um, you don't have to stay there. You don't have to listen to everybody else and tell, and have people say, "Oh my God, how could you move out?" You don't have to stay. It's okay to sell a house and move somewhere else. All I'm saying is don't leave your support system. Stay by them. Stay by your support system because you're going to need it. See, this this video took a turn. I wasn't going to talk about this kind of stuff, so um, I just hope that I can help somebody realize that there is a way to get to the other side of this. And I'm just trying to share my journey and be honest with you and open with you. I've struggled. I have really struggled. And if you watch a couple of my earlier videos, you'll see I was not in a good place. So I'll stop rambling. Sorry I didn't get a Sunday video up. I just wasn't in, I just didn't want to. Yesterday I thought about it a couple times. I just was like, I was working on Christmas presents and things like that. So, yeah, I was just like, you know what, I'll do it tomorrow. So I apologize for that. But if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want me to talk about something, if you're going through something and you need help with something, if you want to know if I've experienced it, leave a comment down below. Hit the subscribe button so you know when a new video comes out. And I'll see you on Sunday. Have a great week, everybody.